So from the beginning, Cyril Ramaphosa came up with this notion of a government of national unity, which he thought would be a better way of selling the concept of coalition to his own party. Now, this of course is not a government of national unity, because a government of national unity brings all parties together, which would have had to include the EFF and the MK party, which it did not. But it still gave the president the fig leaf he needed to bring in all sorts of smaller parties to say, I'm not in a coalition with the DA. Now, the truth is that we are actually in a coalition, because a coalition means that if a party withdraws from the coalition, the government falls.
Helen Zille, not GNU, a grand coalition. He wanted a grand coalition. She wanted a grand coalition. She came and the DA to the negotiations that we must not talk to the EFF, we must not talk to Zuma Party and all of these other people, PA and so on. We said no. We have signed a statement of intent with 10 political parties, including the DA. So what is she talking about? So we're not going to entertain Helen and what she is dreaming about and what she wants. We've got the responsibility, ourselves and the DA, to govern. And we will tell by actions and the work that we do who has actually won the hearts and minds of South Africans going forward. As the ANC, we are not interested in polemics. We are interested in governing the country and governing very well. We need stability for South Africa, and that's what is important. DA is part of the GNU, and we're moving forward nicely going forward. And that's what is important for us. Will MK, yes, MK war veterans are part of the ANC. They will be part of the Lekgotla. They are invited. They are still there. Also, they've got their issues that we need government to address. Those issues will be addressed here. That's what is important for us, to address the welfare of our former combatants. It's important, so that we don't confuse issues. And we need to move in regard to that with speed. And then you asked the question about coalition with the ANC and all of that. We don't have a coalition, a grand coalition that is called the DA and the ANC in terms of definition. I think as journalists, you are educated. You know what is a grand coalition. So does this look like a grand coalition? It's not. A grand coalition is a coming together of one or two political parties to form government. That's not what has happened here. You've got more than one political party that has formed government. It is the ANC that is leading. It is the DA. It is the IFP. It is GOOD. It is the PA, of which we're talking about Gaten now. It is the PAC in government. It is UDM in government. It's Al-Jama in government. What is that in political definition of models of government? Is that not a multi-party GNU? Is that an ANC-DA arrangement? There's no such. You can argue that the ANC leads and the DA has got the biggest share, but it is not a grand coalition. Okay? It is a GNU with elements of supply and confidence, minority government, right? There are political parties who have signed, like Rise Mzansi, the statement of intent and endorsed the GNU, but they are not in government. They said, we don't want to be in government. We want to be in the legislature. Songezo is chairing Scopa there, chasing everyone who's in government to account. Very strategic position, tactical, that they've taken as a party. So you do have parties like that. UAT, once they didn't get anything, they left with their afro. So I'm gone. So so they are gone. So You can be off tangent and argue what Helen is arguing and what he's saying, and I think it's a diversion, and we're not getting into that terrain. Somebody sent me what Helen Zille have said. He's a leader of the DA. It can't be because he's part of the DA you expect Helen Zille to change overnight and mimic the ANC. She can't. We are not allies. We are not allies. DA will come in this government and want to undo all the progressive gains we have achieved in terms of the National Democratic Revolution. And we will not agree with them. We'll stop them. We don't agree with them when they say Bella Bill must not be signed, NHI must go out of the window. And then their perspective in terms of worker rights in relation to where we stand is horrible. It's not about progress and all of that. And transformation of this country, we are opposed to that. Period. And then they will still take us to court like they used to in the previous administrations and all of that. So we are ready for that. Let's not argue about who outsmarted who, because it's not in the interest of the people of South Africa in terms of cabinet and all of that. That's not important. Because once we go down that route, we are now changing from matured politics to competition. The fact of the matter is that political parties have come together, formed government, and then we are leading the country. There is stability. Political parties have committed themselves to foundational principles of this government of national unity. And what are those foundational principles? Is constitutional democracy and the rule of law. Is redress. Is economic growth and creating jobs for our people. And that's what we want, is deepening democracy in terms of non-racialism, and also fight for gender parity. And these are the things that South Africans want out of us, to ensure that we fight crime, government works with communities in the fight against crime, and so on. So that is what it's important for us, and so on.